3, 2, 1, go, Tiffany.
Oh my God. Okay. Are we there?
Live. We're live. We're live.
Are we live?
We're live.
Social media, man. I'm trying.
Yeah, I know.
Trying. Many hats.
You're killing it. Killing the game. Uh-oh. Everything is slowed down. Oh, there you are. Okay. We're here.
And we are live. Shall we do it, my friend?
Hi, Tiffany. Let's do it.
We got to say the thing. Shall we
What's
pod?
the thing? Let's pod.
Cut. Start over. Cut.
Can't. We're live.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do it.
We're starting the thing. Shall we do it? Shall we pod?
Let's pod.
Hi,
Tiffany.
We're gonna get better at this. We are.
I don't know that we will at some point down the line.
We have to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all part of the experience. Growth.
Yes. Okay, my friend. It's been a couple weeks. We're back in the pods.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
A little tired today, but what's new?
I know. I was gonna say
the life of the artist in Los Angeles. How are you?
Yep. I'm all right. I'm doing good. Let's make us even there. Yeah, I'm fired up today, Tiffany.
Oh yeah?
There's some stuff happening in the world. We'll get there. Yeah, I got some stuff that I definitely am excited to talk about today. Let's just say that. There's a lot going on in the world.
We love to hear it. We love when David's fired up. We absolutely love it.
Hope so. I don't know how to unfire.
Kevin is back from last time. Welcome back, Kevin. Thanks for watching.
What's up, Kevin? Let's go.
All right, should we dive right in?
Let's do it.
One of my favorite parts of our podcast, the icebreaker.
Bam.
Bam.
Hit us with some ice breaking, Tiffany.
Okay.
What you got today?
Today, I would like to know, what is the first thing that you do in the morning after you pee? I didn't want that to be your answer. So,
like the very first thing?
Yes.
I put my watch and my ring on. That's actually before I pee. After I pee, I go grind coffee beans and make coffee. So 2 answers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your watch, like your Apple Watch, or?
Yeah, just because it sits next to me like when I sleep. So like my watch and my ring are like next to each other. So I get out of bed, grab those, put them on, throw clothes on, and then pee coffee.
We start getting credit right away for those
Absolutely.
steps.
You got to. Yeah, I'm a slave to it. It's unfortunate. But it is what it is. I like to know what I've done throughout the day. I like it for the activity stuff, if nothing else.
I'm very much addicted to it. My Apple Watch as well, mostly for fitness stuff. When I forget to put my watch on, or when I forget not to put my watch on, but when I forget to turn my workout function on when I start working out, and I don't get credit for those calories. Ooh,
I know. Ooh. It's the worst. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go. No, I was going to say, my brother gave me a real watch finally, like for my wedding.
Oh.
So I have started to wear, he runs marathons and stuff. So his watch usage, I know, like he started to wear a real watch at other times and then got rid of the smartwatch for part of the day. And I've kind of like toyed with that, sort of like how you got me into the do not disturb world, which I'm actually like in love with. But yeah,
Let's put a pin in that. We got to talk about
we'll come back to that. Because that's been a thing. We had like a whole deep dive on that in our last iteration.
We sure did.
And I'm on board. I'm a fan. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Absolutely. Yeah. You inspired me.
The first thing I do in the morning is I thank the universe for waking me up.
Oh my God. That yours sounds so much more like wholesome and you're just trying to make me look bad now.
No, not at all. Not at all. I really do though. I'm like, okay, thank you for waking me up. Thank you for giving me another chance to be great. And then I make my bed.
All right.
I saw somewhere that successful entrepreneurs make their bed in the morning.
Yeah. It's like a military thing too.
Yeah. So I'm into that. And I just like the way my bed looks when it's made. So right away.
I like that.
Second icebreaker. Are you into seltzer water or nah?
Oh yeah.
You are? You're like a
Oh,
LaCroix?
big time.
What
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, we like always have to have it in the fridge. And it's funny because the other day there's like when there's new flavors of things or when there is like a weird food item that has come out as like a limited edition, I'm all over that shit. So like there was a bomb pop blue raspberry flavored seltzer water at Ralph's the other day and I had to try it and it's quite good. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Are you into seltzer water?
Absolutely not.
Really? Just because of what?
No.
Like Ted Lasso, the bubbles like mess you up?
No, I'm into bubbles. I love a
Okay.
kombucha, but I feel like seltzer water, and I know that I'm in the minority on this, but seltzer water just doesn't do it for me. There's not enough flavor. It feels like it's just under, like I just need a little bit more.
All
So
right.
I might be dating myself here, but I don't know if you remember this company called Clearly Canadian.
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, Costco.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. Like
back
the
in the
bowling
day.
pin shaped. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Glass
That
bottles.
felt like delicious, bubbly, flavored water. I'm sure there
Yeah.
was a ridiculous amount of sugar and all kinds of other things in there, but that was the extent of my seltzery type of water. But this phenomenon that has taken over the world with the seltzer drinks is
I'll tell you why. For me, the reason it's almost like a gate, whatever the reverse of a gateway drug is. It's like weaning myself off the drug because I always used to love soda, but like I would drink, it was pop where I grew up in the Midwest. But
yes.
I like a Diet Coke fan, diet sodas. Once I like lost weight, I never did like the real sugar stuff, which I know I don't need people to tell me the diet stuff is just as bad, but I
Yes.
was very addicted to like bubbly soda throughout the day. And what really allowed me to stop doing that was seltzer water. And the like, it's adjacent to a soda. It's not the same as a soda, but it's like, it's enough close that it could fool my brain into being like, this is sweet and this tastes better than just like, I get bored of just regular water all day long. And so like the little bit of flavor I love. I just like,
Yeah.
but I also use Mio, like the little squirt stuff into your water. Like that stuff is, Allie says it tastes like watered down Kool-Aid, which it kind of is because there's no sugar or anything, but it just adds some flavor. It's good. I need some of that.
Yeah. I don't
Spice
know.
up your
I
life.
just need a little bit more flavor than that. So I
All
pass
right.
on the
All right.
seltzers, but I had a feeling that you were one of them. Okay, last I
You
last
look like one of those
icebreaker.
seltzer people.
I just had a feeling.
I'll take it.
Um, last icebreaker. Can you show me in your face what your favorite emoji is?
uh, just a face one or like any emoji?
Well, show and describe your favorite emoji. Describe for our listeners. Show. Oh, that's a good one. For
That
our
one's probably
listeners,
my favorite one. Yeah, a
for
little
the
shrug.
listener, he's doing the shrug. Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's like that one or lately the face palm for the state of the world. That one comes in a lot too.
Face
The
palm absolutely comes into play for me.
a face one, I use this one a lot.
The big giant grin.
The
Yeah.
like the like
The
horizontal one that I
teeth.
think it says worried if you actually speak it, but no, I
Yeah.
like that's kind of me a lot.
It's really funny when when you like scroll over an emoji and see what it's labeled or what it's
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
be. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. My favorite emoji is the melting one.
That one's good too. Yeah. That was good. That was good.
Thank
Accurate.
you so much.
Yeah. Round of applause for that. That was good. That was good.
Do you feel like your ice has been broken?
I think it's been broken. I think
Okay.
yeah, my water is cold from all that ice swirling around in it.
All
Oh,
right. We can move on.
let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Um, so we had a talk before we started this next one because this is like our second, obviously, episode or version of this new iteration of our podcast. And we're going to try to like stick to some topics as we go so that we give like a little bit of a frame of reference of we're going to kind of come back to some stuff. So I would love to start out with some spoiler alerts which is what I'm calling this new thing of like, we talk about the shows we watch. We're in this world. So like we clearly watch a lot of shows. We have a lot of opinions. And I figured this is a great place to like talk about what we're consuming, new things that happen within said consumption. Keep it a little light now before we dive into the stuff that's coming with the state of the world and everything. So Tiffany, what have you watched since we talked last? It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I know we had some of the same shows. Like we were both on the White Lotus. We were
Yep.
both on the Gemstones.
Yep.
Severance was not done yet.
No, I don't have Apple. I'm waiting for the morning. I'm waiting for the morning show to come back. I've seen season 1 of Severance, but
okay,
I need to consume all of the Apple stuff at once because
yeah.
there's way too many platforms right now. And like,
oh man, you're missing a really good one that I would love to talk about too with the studio. It's so good.
I know. I'm hearing all the things. I feel like the pull is happening.
Yeah.
I'm going to get roped back into Apple real soon because they're putting out some good stuff. We're going to circle back to the studio when we can talk about it together, but
love it.
Yes.
It's good.
I'm caught up on White Lotus and I'm caught up on Righteous Gemstones. And I feel like we need to start with Righteous Gemstones because I don't understand why or
why
how
he was water skiing naked.
Walton Goggins has showed so much fucking dick in this series.
Because it's not his.
Are we positive?
Yeah, because I live with a makeup artist, and so I know how it works. Well, also having the appendage, I also know what is like you can always tell when it looks the exact same the entire time because that's just not the state of that appendage. That appendage has many different faces it wears throughout the day, and like there's also like they talked about it on White Lotus because it was like last year that Theo James? Is that his last name? That he showed his and it wasn't his. Like that's like very much like a piece that they give you to wear on the day. And so
I get it. I get it. But like it might as well be. You know what I mean? Like what is the difference?
I think to me it's probably control. Because I think sometimes like I've actually read some articles about it too. Because I think it was the Saturday Night Live movie where J.K. Simmons, his character played Milton Berle, and he has like a legendary member. I hope our parents aren't listening to this, but whatever.
Member, he's so correct when he says that. I'm out here just being like so much.
Yeah. I'm clicking the explicit on this one when I upload the audio. But they talked about that because there's a scene where he like whips it out in front of Chevy Chase's character. And that's like apparently some like lore of SNL that this guy like big swinging dick, like that was like his whole thing. And he did it to like belittle Chevy Chase. And I read the article about that too, where he talked about like they brought the dick into his dressing room and like opened it up like it's a violin case. And it's like, oh, that's going to be the thing. And so I know that from talking to Allie about like different, like we watched Westworld a lot. Westworld had a ton of nudity because they had so many like bodies and stuff. And that one I think is probably more legit. Everybody's just naked because it's just a bunch of extras, but they have to like, there's other things that they do. Like they have to put like fake pubes on people and stuff. It's like that. It's a whole, that's a whole episode in and of itself. It's like, I've actually been curious with that talking to you in terms of like your comfort level as an actor with all that. If somebody's like, you're going to be on whatever show it would be, are you cool with that? And I still like, there's like some stuff I don't really want to have the entire world have, like Mikey Madsen's thing in Anora. Like, I mean, she's all over that thing.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Well, it's very interesting to me because they make it look so real. So,
and sometimes I think it is.
I'm sure like it's, who knows, but it's just like, if you're going to do it and you're going to have a fake one, everyone's going to think it's yours anyway. You know what I mean? So everyone's going to continue living their life. Like I know what Walter
Did you see that
dick looks like. From multiple episodes.
This Gemstones kind of, I think from the entire time has had they're like enjoy showing dick on it because I think it's like, it's a little bit more like it's a little bit more risque than like what you're used to. Like Sopranos was like all boobs, right? But like it goes the other way now with a lot of it too. And it's just also, I think it's fine for American audience to be a little bit less prudish. I feel like we've always been so prudish about it all. And it's always like, we all have these things. So like, who fucking cares? Like at the end of the day, like,
Well, Danny McBride is definitely like the king of dark comedy right now.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he's really slaying that game. And we follow Coco podcasts, Conan O'Brien
okay. Oh
podcast.
yes.
And Danny McBride was just a guest on Conan's show, and he walked out and gave him a gift. It was a dick pin. Did you see this?
No,
It's like a laser, but
that
instead of
tracks.
shining a bright red light, it's shining a bright red penis.
Because why wouldn't it?
Because why not?
Wouldn't it?
Yes. So I'm caught
So
up
that's
on.
why he's naked a lot.
Yeah, I mean, desensitized, I guess, is a good
Sure.
word to say for
Yeah,
all this penis happening on HBO, not
for
HBO,
sure.
Max, whatever.
Max,
I can't.
yes.
I put my foot in my mouth at some point and during all of these podcasts.
I don't
So.
think that's putting your foot in your mouth. I think that's still frustrating. HBO is always like the pinnacle, and now it's like all watered. It's just weird. Like I don't know why we had to change. Like why HBO stuff still couldn't just be HBO stuff, but whatever.
It's hard to keep track.
See.
I mean, we're already 16 minutes in, but I think we should start on how are we feeling on White Lotus? Real quick.
Yeah. Stuff's happening, so I'm happy about that.
Yay.
It took a while for things to happen.
We have
But
one more episode.
I know, like that's and we both said, Allie and I, my wife, after last one was we were like, there's a lot of storylines that have to like wrap up.
Exactly.
So like I could have used a little bit like more pacing in terms of getting there. I think it's like a beautifully shot show. I think it's very well acted by everybody in it. I usually hate almost every season, like every single character, except for like maybe one or two that are a little bit like the comic relief or whatever. Parker Posey has grown on me so much this season. Cause when it started, I was like, what is that accent? And it was so distracting. It's a lot. Lorazepam. But now she makes me laugh like almost more than anybody else. Sam Rockwell is fucking awesome in everything he does, and his involvement is great. And to me, the best, again, spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know, don't listen to this. But like Walton Goggins' storyline coming through, and then I saw his Instagram post about it too, where he was like, finally got this motherfucker to smile or something along those lines. Like it took 7 months and whatever to get a smile out of his character. And it was like him on the couch when the whole party's going on and he's just sitting there and he like just barely like kind of grins and he's just kind of like, and that was really cool to see. Cause he's my favorite actor on the show. And I feel like he's gone through this thing more so than any other character where it's like, I'm super invested in what's going on with him. So,
absolutely.
And that whole scene with him and Sam Rockwell, like, where I was just like, throw him a bone, man. Like he's like sitting there and she's like, what movies of mine did you like and stuff? And he's like, he's just sitting there like in silence while Sam Rockwell is just like sorting through it. Like it's gotten to a place where like, now I'm very, very interested in where we go on Sunday. So I guess like that means quality entertainment. Again, I just thought it was like really slow to get here.
Absolutely. But I feel like, obviously Mike White knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think that he had to do it this way because is this season 4 or season 3?
This is 3.
Yeah. I just feel like he had to make a slight change on the way that the story was being told this season. Cause he's already got us, right? Even though we were frustrated as fuck that it was moving as slow as it was. I wasn't going to not watch it.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
It's like one of our go-tos. Like Sunday nights have kind of always traditionally been like that night where like a good show comes out. Like it was Game of Thrones for a long time. It was Westworld. Like all those shows would always be like on Sunday nights. So it is like our like Sunday night programming that we watch like every week. And it's nice to have a show. It's only Sunday's going to be 8, right? Like that's it. So it's 8
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You
It
get
better
so
be
much
2
less real
hours
estate.
long.
Oh, I just thought of another show. Have
Ooh.
you watched Adolescence?
No, not yet, but I'm hearing some things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going
So bookmark that. We'll come back to it. If other people have watched it, like I will definitely want to talk about it. Not only is it very like thought provoking in terms of like just how people consume things and like how kids are growing up now, it's also, as a filmmaking thing, they did everything on one shots. Like the entire thing is all ones. So every episode is a single
oh,
take.
oh,
Um,
oh.
yeah. And they did like what I read was they did 10-ish takes of every episode and then they just chose the best one. And the kid is incredible. The kid, the like the main boy who is accused of murder is like, apparently that's his first gig ever.
Mhm.
And he's so good that it's like, there's a reason why good kid actors just like have this other gear. Cause they don't have the, like, they haven't been trained out of just being able to live in the emotions yet. And I think he's like right on the cusp of like being aware of himself probably as a kid. And
Wow.
he's so good. And, Stephen Graham wrote it also, like co-wrote it also, and was like a creator on it in addition to being the dad. And I know him from things like Snatch, and he's been in the Guy Ritchie circle for a long time. So he's a real good actor as well. And I'll be interested when you do watch it now, knowing that we were impressed by the Oner stuff. Like it's really impressive. And it's really impressive to think about how technically everybody, like if they're waiting in another room, they're actually going to like wait through those 20 minutes if they're going to come back to them. Right. Cause like everything is like a play. It's like the staging of that. Allie was thinking about it with the makeup. Like there's a lot that went into that in terms of like trying to plan that shoot. But at the same time, like, I don't know that it served the storytelling as much as like, I think the storytelling could have been better served by some 2 shots and like some cutting and stuff like that. Like I don't know that I needed it. Now, on that same line, the studio, when you get to that, the second episode is called The Oner and it is all one shot and it's incredible. So to have those two perspectives is like doing that same technique, but like in the studio, they did it purposefully for this one episode. And it was like, that episode is one of my favorite episodes of television that I've watched yet. I can't wait till you watch it so we can talk about that because of the industry stuff. Like it's like that good. So I don't
Wow.
know. You may have to get on your Apple TV
I
Plus.
might have to get on my Apple Plus.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. I can do it. I think I'm gonna, after I wrap up on the White Lotus, I'll make some more room for something else.
There you go. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I approve.
Balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
Well,
I don't think we spoiled too many alerts.
no, I don't think so either. I think it's good to just like,
Yeah.
we'll just
Yeah.
keep it going with stuff. And then when there's a deep dive on a show that we want to do, or if other people start
Yeah.
joining in with this with chat and stuff too, we'll see what other people are into. But I like that as being like a bookmark that we come back to every time. Just like,
I love
what
it.
are we watching and what's like, because also the filmmaking side of that stuff, I think will be a really cool discussion when we get more into it too. So
Absolutely. Because we be watching TV. The two of
we be
us,
watching the TV.
TV.
I never used to either. I could honestly say when I moved out here to be an actor, I was so much more like movies. And I really like, I almost turned my nose up at TV because it was just like a different era of TV. It was mostly network. There wasn't a lot that would like have nudity or like feel real, right? Like even swearing, like all the other stuff. And now I feel like we're in the renaissance of TV because of streaming and everything.
Well,
But
because so many film actors have crossed over into doing a lot
yes,
more television, and TV people have created more cinematic episodes of
yeah,
television. Like each episode to me in some of these shows are mini movies. That's what it feels
absolutely.
like.
Yep. And
Yeah.
it's actually goes, I'm going to move this over to, we're going to
Yeah.
go into some current
Great
events
segue.
because it's an amazing segue because I think that is exactly where I want to like kick off this piece of this episode that I think will sit in for a while is talking about the current state of the industry, and how the changes in the industry have made very well known actors go into different things, do talk shows, do reality TV, take jobs that would have used to have been thought to be beneath somebody, that now it's like very much a basis of how people just have to keep paying their bills because everything is so expensive and the jobs are fewer and far between, or they turn over more because you're not getting that 30 episode series of a year that then you can take the time off and go back to the series. It's like you get 8 episodes and then
6,
what are you going to do
maybe.
next? Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
lucky, even if
Yeah.
you're a main character, you might get 6 of the 8. Yeah.
Right.
So so the landscape is very different. Now, I have been very, very invested, and I don't know if you've been following this in, kind of like the industry perspective, of like how much work here is in LA versus like going to other places, and sort of how that having this career as an artist and going out on auditions and stuff like that. Like I have a lot of interest in trying to figure out if, LA is still the place where like you move here and it's like, it's all worth it because this is where it happens, right? Like this is your best option to do this thing. Where like, I'm not breaking news to anybody that a lot of productions have left Los Angeles. They've left California. Some have left the United States. And that's all kind of wrapped into our current political climate, in addition to like tax incentives and things like that, where Austin and Texas are big now, Georgia, New York, the UK, and Canada has always been, but like these other places are now being able to outbid like the reason that you would come to Los Angeles was because this is where everything was. Like they had the best, backline of equipment. Like you had the best studios, like you had the most space to do all of the things. And now some of that is being caught up to in other places. And in addition to that, there are tax incentives and other things going on. So I'm just going to like kind of kick this off with this. So there's this amazing Instagram account that I follow called Stage Runner LA. And he
Ooh,
kind of like, he's always putting out things about like how production's going, like what's in production currently in LA and what the state of the industry is. And then he does stuff like on box office things too, like of bombs and flops versus like successes and things. So this is something interesting about California right now. So there is a bill in the Senate in California called Bill 630. And it is, they're trying to increase the cap on tax credits annually from what is currently for California at $350 million to $750 million. So it's like a massive increase in the amount of, on the
yes.
cap of tax credits you could get to shoot here. And it would also add new versions of there's a new version of the bill that would add a 35% credit in all in-state productions. So that's huge too. It currently sits at 20. So another like big incentive to get people. Oh no.
What happened?
I like put my computer to sleep with my notebook. But are we still live? Okay, we're still live. Good. I
We're
like
still
just
live.
self-destructed the entire thing. So they would add a new tax credit of 35% instead of 20, with a possible kicker of 5% for people that would shoot outside of Los Angeles, he said, which I don't really understand that. Cause like if you're going to shoot in California, why would we incentivize people to not shoot in Los Angeles? But neither here nor there. And also, it would broaden who's eligible to make those incentives to not just TV and film in a traditional sense, but it would also be more shorts, more like reality TV shows and things like that too. So that is kind of cool news to hear that there's maybe something on the horizon that, if it gets passed, could incentivize people to keep shooting here. Because like I said, New York, Georgia, UK, their credits go as high as 40% versus our current 20. So us getting to 35 at least makes Los Angeles be able to be in the fight again, rather than kind of like losing the fight. And this all just goes into, to me, if I'm being vulnerable and honest, lately, it's just getting really hard to make a living, like a true living, um,
Absolutely.
in this industry as an artist, and of all sorts. Not just as actors like we are, but like in everything, and makeup like Ali, and camera operating and all the different things. Like when you bleed out the productions, that just is like a huge sector of people. It's like somebody compared it to the other day to me, like the auto industry in Detroit, when they went from like, factory lines where people were building things by hand to having a bunch of, robots and automated things building things. And it just put tons of people out of a job, which is sort of our current event as well, where like a lot of people who thought they had jobs that were secure are now finding out that somebody at the snap of a pen or at the request of a billionaire can just be eliminated without much thought because
Just
of
like that.
efficiency or something. And I think it's a fundamental thing that I'm like really worried about in our industry, that I think telling stories and building stories and storytelling as a career is a people first business. You are trying to connect with people on an emotional level and make them feel something. Um, and the people that make the thing are feeling so many things as they do it, which is what fuels that emotion that eventually is passed on to the listener, the watcher, the consumer.
Yeah.
And I I get really stressed out and anxious when I think about like where we're at and what the solution is going forward. And like there's been a lot of talk from COVID to now of like, survive till whatever year, and like then the strikes, and then there's other things that like kind of just keep tripping this up as we go and not allowing us to ever feel like a sense of relief, like we're getting better. And the state of like the industry to me is like it's so hard to make a living. Like another thing I was reading was about musicians specifically um, turning to OnlyFans to start to make a living because they weren't making enough on tour to actually like break even. And these are like actually signed real artists, like not somebody like me who's just like been trying to do it independently for my whole life.
Right.
It was Kate Nash had a feature on NPR that was talking about how she started showing pictures of her ass on OnlyFans. And like she was selling that access to, and she's like, I show my bum anyway. And she's like, she's British. And so she's like, I thought it was kind of funny, but like she was in the red after touring because you don't make any money as a musician anymore either.
Right.
Because Spotify is paying 0.003 cents or 0.003 of a dollar for every stream, which like I've seen, videos of Lady Gaga having millions of streams and like you get $1,000. Like it's destroyed what used to be the lifeblood of musicians, which was selling your records, selling your stuff, and then going on tour and making money because people would buy your merch, buy the tickets, and then go buy your music more too. Where now everything is such an in the moment thing that you're immediately like, the Spotify market has allowed like big brands and big companies and corporations to like use a song to whatever they want to do with it and then just kind of move on to the next thing because everything is so in the moment. And I don't know. I'm going to shut up and let you give me your perspective on all this here. But like, I've just been in like this really like existential funk over the last little while since we talked last about just like, the more I'm reading about this, like, I don't know the solution, and maybe I need to be talked off the ledge in terms of like feeling like, why the hell do we decide to keep doing this when it's so hard? And then on top of the industry piece, you go into the creator world, which is now very connected, which I know I've wanted to talk about too. And now the TikTok ban is looming as well. And that TikTok ban is kind of like this ticking clock always. April 5th is the next deadline for them to either sell it or to kick the can down the road too, where that was a supplemental piece of income for a lot of artists like myself.
Mm-hmm.
When the traditional side isn't enough anymore. And it's not just not enough again for like the day players and the people that get jobs here and there. It's like the artists, like where we started this, like film actors who used to do like one film a year, maybe even one every other, if they were like more aloof, now are like doing TV shows and stuff because they all have big houses and they have to pay for them. And I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. Talk me off a ledge. Tell me something better than where I'm at, or just give me your perspective. I don't know. I've got
I
Kevin's.
I think that there's a lot there for sure. But I think the piece that we have to remember is that we are here and we've been here. We have grounded roots into this industry, whether we feel like they've been impactful or not, that's relative, but we are here. And I do feel that you and I in particular and a lot of our surrounding community, we're here, we're in this thing and we are lifers in this and we are in a collective ebb, and we will collectively flow again. And I will remain optimistic on that, just because of the need, the desire, and the hunger for us to create. We are finding and creating new ways to utilize our talents and our skills. And you and I were just talking about how excited we are about this new evolution of our podcast, and how much excitement there is behind your content creation and your other projects. Like, I know it sounds super cliche, but because we are here and because we've grounded these roots, and we've found ways to continue making this life work for ourselves up until this moment right now, we just have to keep going. And we can't let all the things that are happening out there affect the creativity, because that, I think it says it on your wall, right, is your drug.
It's mirrored.
Right
Yes.
there.
Yeah. Addicted. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
That
addicted to that. And that's the piece I think that we really need to focus on. Um, I don't know what's going to happen with this second wave of the TikTok ban, but I do know it was really good for TikTok when the first one was coming. All the content that was being generated and created, and all the buzz that was being created, and then Mr. Man coming in to save the day, you know? Right. I do think it's all very calculated.
mm-hmm.
So I have a really, really hard time believing that something that's generating so much uh, money circulating in this world is going to go away just like that.
So here's what I do know about the TikTok ban. Technically, like in terms of like the news on it, what I read today was that Amazon wants to buy it. That's the newest suitor to a purchaser. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
So
Did I
here's,
say that out loud?
yeah, I think, it's all right. I did it before, we're just it's a mutual thing. I think TikTok, if I'm being honest and political here, I don't care. Like, not enough people are listening to piss off people, but like, I think that it was a very convenient political tool for Trump to use to get elected, to get younger people to be like, oh, he wants to, like, because to tie it back into what we were talking about before. And I know this from personal experience, TikTok is the only platform that actually is paying people to make content in a way that's like even somewhat sustainable, that it's like it's a foundational piece of like income for people that are putting things out, where like they have a program that actually pays. YouTube does too. YouTube is just really hard to like break into their system of it, because of their the floor for YouTube is pretty hard to get at, where the floor for TikTok, if you get viral, can like really jump to, which it could in YouTube too. I guess it just depends on where you're putting your focus. But the TikTok ban, originally it was going to go away. And I asked specifically to TikTok at the time, because I had, funds locked into it. I was like, what happens? And they basically said that they were still operating under normal business practices. And that was all that they would say. And then it went away so that they could come back and, like you said, put up the splash page. It was like, thank you to our dear leader. Now we're going to be fine. And now what I read today was Amazon is one of many courting purchasers. But no matter who decides to pony up all the money, the Chinese government has to say yes, which I don't think that they will. I mean, maybe they will. I don't know. I don't pretend to know that, but like, it doesn't feel like they would in terms of like the way it's been going. And Trump has said that he's just going to like push the deadline out. So the next deadline is April 5th. So as we are recording this on April 3rd, that deadline is coming up real soon, which, like, again, as someone who makes even something on TikTok, just continually pulling the rug out from under creators and not having that be a sure thing is terrifying. And it's like, it's also terrifying to think of like, if the wrong person buys it, who has no interest in continuing to pay creators what they're paying, it will turn into Instagram, which on Instagram, I had over 30 million plays on Instagram last year and I made like 10 cents. And it's just like, it doesn't compare.
Wild.
It's crazy. And like, granted, Instagram has more of a bridge to brand deals and things, because it is a little bit more like, I don't know, traditional, if that's not the right word, but it's like more locked into like consumption of targeted media. Like you can actually still see on Instagram more or less like who you are following, whereas like TikTok is very much algorithmic Wild West. Like it's like
Yeah.
where do you lead it today by how long you watched this video versus that. Instagram is that too, but not nearly as like forcefully algorithmic. Like I'll see you because I follow you if you put something out, right? Like I
Yeah.
know I'll still see my people. TikTok's not necessarily built that way. So my concern is we are already eliminating in those other examples I made before with like Kate Nash doing OnlyFans and like other people trying to find these places to like just get paid. Because I personally, I'll speak for myself, like my desire sure is to do really well. And it would be awesome to be like super wealthy by doing what I love, but that's not even like the goal. The goal for me is to just like, I just want to make a comfortable living putting things out into the world. Like you said, I can't give this up because
Yeah.
creativity is it's my driving force. It's my lifeblood. It's like what's in my soul. I don't know how not to be like.
Yeah.
Allie and I were talking about the other day, like she said something about her brain was like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, do you want to know what my brain's like every day? And she's like, she just started going, zing dong, bung dong, ding dong, bung dong, 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 and I was like ping pong all around. And I was like, yep, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's
That's you.
creative thing, existential threat. Oh my God. Like I'll never going to make it. Why am I even doing this? Creative thing. And it's just constant. And so I know I'm like born to do this. Right. But
You
like when the industry continues to tell you that you're replaceable, which like we talked about it with the audition thing where it's like easy to replace people when you give them 2 hours to get there. When musically you make it so hard, like I had some of my music taken down from Spotify by different like weird rules that they put in that like I didn't know how to fight it. So it was just like they eliminated 3/4 of my library that was online where I was making like pennies. And
Damn.
now I have to figure out a new way to release my music if I want to. And it like killed my motivation. I didn't even want to do it. And so reading this stuff about how people are turning to these other things, so like you shouldn't have to show your ass on OnlyFans to just like make enough to tour as a musician when she's already a successful musician. And as an actor, like we've eliminated residuals pretty much from the equation. Like I still
Yeah.
get paid from We're the Millers, which was the thing I did VO for like many, many moons ago. And it just so happens to be a syndicated movie now that they show a lot on different cable networks and stuff. So I still get paid because I was Will Poulter's voice dub on that. So I like anything that needed replacement, I did for him. And so that is like the last example for me of a thing where like there's still some income from it. It's not enough to really do anything anymore because of inflation and everything else, but like from something so long ago that like it used to be people in my position could make like a comfortable living doing voiceover, ADR, dubbing. You'd
Absolutely.
never know who they were, but you could
Mhm.
potentially still buy a small house, not, like maybe not in Los Angeles, but like somewhere. And I
Yeah,
feel like we've gotten to the point where it's like impossible. I don't know.
I was just talking about this with a friend of mine last night that when I moved here as a dancer, and this was back in the day before So You Think You Can Dance, and before Dancing with the Stars, before dance became a different entity than it is now. But dancers in films back then, I remember my boyfriend at the time receiving a residual check for, what is it called? You Got Served. Remember that movie?
Oh yeah, totally. Totally.
$25,000 as a dancer, not even a featured actor. No words were
Dang,
said. He was dancing with the crews. You got served.
man.
I many, many, many years later, was a dancer in La La Land in the traffic scene, the opening scene of the movie, which is probably one of the most iconic and infamous.
Hell yeah.
Is that the right way to use that? Infamous. I
Yeah,
always I
absolutely.
always
The
mess that up.
freeway
That's right?
scene. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Such a
One of the
cool
most
shot.
thank you. We can talk about
Mhm.
that some other time. But the highest residual check I think I've received for La La Land, Academy Award winning La La Land,
Mhm.
maybe $650.
Oh god, that hurts
I
me.
mean, there's multiple checks that have come in
Sure.
since the film has been released, but I'm saying the highest one that I have received.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I
was
mean. Like,
less than $1,000. So
w-
it's not the glamour and glitz of it all is diminishing over the many, many years. But yeah, it's difficult. And something I also wanted to touch on in the industry and where we're at right now. I'm dry. I we have to diversify our portfolios as artists in
yeah.
Los Angeles, right? You cannot just have all of your eggs in one basket anymore. It is not a smart approach to this industry and this life. But I started teaching fitness a long time ago. It is another one of my passions, and it is something that we as artists need to do anyway to maintain a presence on television. So I got very into fitness, and I drive down Sunset Boulevard to go teach my classes almost every day. And I'm looking at these billboards in the Sunset Strip, and I'm just like, wow, we're just ping ponging the ball back and forth to each other in this like elite group of actors and creators in the world. And if you're not in that crew, if you're not in that group, you're not going to get the ball. You're not going
Nope.
to get it. They're ping like they don't need to share that because
No.
there's enough of them to go around that they can just keep going from show to movie to this to that to this. It's all the same people.
Yep.
And it's how do you break into that next level at the state that we are in right now? Something I really wanted to touch on. How are we doing on time? Just checking in.
Yep. We're
Is
good.
is the self tape, right? The self tape
Mm-hmm.
these days. Now, when self tapes first became a thing, it was we just need a simple background. We just need to be able to see you. We just need to be able to hear you. And there are a handful of casting directors that are still out there that still abide by those parameters. Sure.
Yep.
But there are companies out there. There are people out there that are creating and generating short films for their auditions. Short
Mm-hmm.
films, like full situations. We are no longer just in a plain background. We are no longer not using costumes. We are no longer not using props. All of the rules have literally just gone away. The rules are there ain't no rules, right?
Yep. Yep.
And I don't care what anybody says. If a self tape that comes in and somebody's just standing on a blank wall with like half of a shadow or something like showing, and then the next one comes in and you've got music, lighting, and props, and we're in a different position and whatnot. Like that's going to be way more interesting to a casting director. That's going to eliminate a lot more of what the producers and decision makers have to imagine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And these are the people that are getting the jobs. These are the people that
Yeah.
are getting the jobs. And it's the people that have access to those things and the people that have access to those resources. A friend of mine sent me a clip of Austin Butler talking about how he booked Elvis.
Ah.
And a friend of his told him somewhere just like just a little passing moment, hey, you should play Elvis one day. And that's like it was an in one ear and out the other kind of thing for him in the moment. And then when he
Sure.
found out that a film was being circulated around the industry, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go for this. And he says, I hired an acting coach, I hired a dialect coach, I hired a piano teacher, I hired a this, I hired a that. And I was like, oh honey, you lost me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because yeah.
You're
And he,
coming you're telling me you have a lot more resources than most of the people here. So
yep.
if this is what we're bumping up against, because we've
Yeah.
now gone into this self-tape land where everything has to be generated by itself, instead of just me coming into the room and you seeing like my awesome smile and my beautiful energy, I have to find resources to create something that's actually going to stand out to you in order for me to get like half of what these other people are already getting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting and it is very challenging to keep up. with the
Mhm.
Joneses, if you will.
Absolutely.
Um,
Well,
and I'm
and you have to survive. Like, you have to eat. I mean, like, you
yeah,
have to, like, it's
yeah,
I don't know. I saw a clip of, I think it was Vincent D'Onofrio saying how, like, that younger actors, like, he's like surprised when they're good, and he's like, you better be like super prepared, and like all this stuff is like, there's a
yes,
I think the old school mentality though, it's like it's different because also I still think the world has now like opened its doors so much wider in terms of like seeking talent. And
yeah,
it like a good example is like the reality vocal shows like American Idol, The Voice, right? It used to be like you had to get your ass to the city they were casting it in, wait in the long
yeah,
fucking line, and then like hope that those people would put you through to the next thing, and then you'd have to travel to whatever. Well, in the same way, the self tape has changed that entire thing, where we now have, and on some level, it's probably good because you get access to more talent that lives in Iowa, where I grew up, than just here. But when those
100%.
guys like Vincent D'Onofrio were coming out here, you flocked to this place because it is where all of the studios were that would teach you how to act. That were all, it was like a smaller thing, and it was like more contained to this place, and like this place would lead to these things. Now it's just like who's trending, who's hot. Like people are getting signed to CAA because of social media following over like talent or who they've studied with. And so I just think the whole industry's been like just flipped on its head. And I think everybody's scrambling to figure it out. And I don't know, this discussion, I guess, didn't get to any like solutions. But I think
I
it's good to
wasn't
know
expecting it to.
no, I mean, I think it's good to know we're swimming in the same soup, and to try to figure out, I still think, to try to bridge this a little bit too with the TikTok ban and other things like that. I do think that that world, and that's why I really hope the TikTok thing doesn't, I hope that the system doesn't change with TikTok. Like I hope it still rewards getting a video that does really well, and like a creator can get something out of that, or a business can get something out of that by like, there's so many, like stories of businesses that found their footing and then found an audience through being on TikTok. And I
Yeah,
hope that that doesn't change, because if it doesn't pay ever anymore, that's going to get a lot harder. But I do think like Mr. Beast is a great example of somebody who took the YouTube version of that and has now just like his career is whatever he wants it to be, because he's making his own reality shows now. He's doing like that plus all the revenue he's getting from YouTube. Like he is his own studio. He is his own like movie studio within the reality, podcasting, this kind of world. Like he's done very well. So there's a world where that is still an attainable thing. That's not easy either, because again, the access to it is anyone who has a camera and a mic, and it's like way
yeah.
easier to look good and sound good than it ever was before. So um it doesn't get to anything better, but I do think that that's where I used to look down upon the influencer creative thing, as it started to be like, well, how many followers do they have in terms of like an audition? Are we going to see that person or this person? Because it was really like off-putting originally for somebody that didn't have a following and wasn't already famous, that it was like, wait, I don't even get to audition because I don't have like 20K follow. Like that sucks.
Yeah,
And it's hyper that now. And I think like, I don't know. It goes back to what you said about the people that are getting to do the things, or the people getting to do the things, because the
yes,
following is already built too. And like, they want to know it's a for sure thing that a million people that follow you are going to watch the thing they put you in. And
yeah,
so it makes sense on some business sense. But again, like I come back to like, I don't know, I guess the secret sauce is figuring out how to make it yourself and then the other stuff augments it. Like I think Seth Rogen is like, clearly a fucking genius, and I want his life so very badly. I think he's like so interesting, that he's such a good writer. Now he's directing this new show too, and he's been a producer forever with a team. But he's also like been an actor and been like doing his own thing as an actor separate from all of that too. That he like, I don't know, he's found, and then like he started his weed company with Houseplant, and like he's an entrepreneur as well. Like, everybody has their hands in so many pots to be able to like be considered a success right now. It's a weird time
well,
to be doing
David,
this.
you do too, and I don't want you to, diminish what the value in what you're doing just because it's still in the building phase of what you're doing, but you have started a business with your content creation,
Yeah.
and you have diversified your portfolio, and I want you to take a couple steps back from that ledge because you are doing it.
Yeah.
Visually, he just did it for the listener. Um, but I think it is, and I'm bringing it back to the statement, as cliche as it sounds, we just have to keep going.
Yeah.
We are here for a reason. We have been given these gifts and these talents for a reason. And there will always be somebody that is interested in what you are doing, because what you are doing is incredible, David.
Ah, man. Thank you. Same
I
to
want
you.
to thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's why
I
we're doing
need to
this.
hear it sometimes. Yep.
Absolutely. I'm always here to be that for you. And it's a reflection to myself as well. Because it's very easy to just like collapse in and retreat into the sadness that this industry can bring.
Yeah.
But Kevin said a comment and he said, I study character design, and the general sentiment is to put your own stuff out, build that audience on YouTube, etc. It's just getting tougher, and AI has infiltrated heavily. But even our one listener
Yeah.
says, we're doing okay. We're doing
Yeah.
all of the right things. And I think it's really important for us to keep having these conversations. And I'm so excited to be back in the pod with you.
Same.
Thank you for doing so much research on what's happening out there in the industry. I think that's really valuable information for the people that will eventually listen to this, hopefully,
Yeah.
and for myself to hear. But
Yeah.
man, we can
I'll
sure fill an hour real quick, can't
I
we?
know this is, and I feel like we just like touched the
Always,
iceberg of this whole thing, but like, I do
always.
think I'll keep up on it too for anyone who's interested in listening to this and kind of having this be a place where what I find out, I'll try to be good at. It'll give me some homework to do that helps me kind of focus into this. Cause I think it's important. I think it's important to know, success stories and when things are shooting, and also like be realistic about the state of the
Yeah,
industry and what's going on to sort of be able to plan forward. So let's end with tell me something good. Can we do
I was
that?
just about to do that. Let's do that. I will start. This is a new segment that we are very, very excited about. It's personal wins, success, career wins, wonderful things that are happening out in the world, whatever we want this to be. And sometimes it's hard for me to focus on the things that are actually really positive in life,
Yeah.
because I'm so in the trenches of just trying to keep going and get to that next phase. But I've got 3 quick things that we can say that are good that have happened in my world recently.
Let's
Yesterday
go.
my father turned 75, and that is amazing in itself.
Congratulations,
A
Papa.
blessing. It's a blessing to still have both of my parents here with me, and I'm very, very thankful that I was able to talk to him and say happy birthday, Dad.
Nice.
Um, Second, I booked my first job in 2 years of auditioning.
Hell yeah.
Yes, it was a reading of a brand new musical, and it was wonderful to be back in the creative space with other people and not just in my kitchen making a self tape.
Yup.
And I have my first theatrical callback in 2 years this weekend. Yes,
Incredible.
I know, good stuff.
That's awesome.
Tell me something good, David.
I got one because I know he didn't land the plane too. Mine
Okay.
is Allie just turned 40 last week. And so
Yes.
I threw a surprise stuff with her best friends from Florida from before she moved to LA. And we've been kind of cooking this up for a couple months, and it all went great. It was
So good.
perfect. And it's just like, it was a reminder to me of what is really important. And it's a good place to land this because, friends that you can count on to fly across the country and surprise you and sleep on an air mattress when you're over 40 and all the different things. Like, it's really cool when you have Allie and I looked around at dinner when we had,
Yeah.
dinner at the end of the night. And the first surprise was just her smallish group that like was going to stay with us while they were here for the weekend. And then at night it was a different collection of people, friends and colleagues from around here that were mostly alley people, but coexisting friends as well. And it was really cool because I think we've struggled for a long time feeling like we had a sense of community here. And it was a reminder that we do, and we're building it, and it's continually building more and more. And there were even people like yourself that like weren't able to come that are also part of that community. And it's like,
Yeah.
it was a really cool, warm, positive thing to have last week and to carry into this week of like the, you know, like LA can feel really lonely, but there's like a really cool community here too. And we're excited to keep on building it. So that's my good.
We're doing great.
Killing it. And look, it's like exactly 2:00. We did it.
I know. Shift us back to the even squares one last time as
Even
we say
squares. Oh, I
goodbye.
should have done that before. There we go.
It's okay. We're learning. We're
We're
getting there.
learning.
Yeah, it's a lot. Um,
Oh,
another successful time in the pods with you. Thank you so much, David, our tech guru extraordinaire, for making all of this happen and making it look so damn good. And we'll see you again very soon.
thanks for being you. And to you all too. Thanks for being you. Thanks for listening or watching, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.